Yakwaba yakonu musu kakra ne yabenti ebra so se yedi enkomo na ansa na no na enra eye nyina ye mame awoda ya ye wo fie ha ye mame awo yen eye na woda meka ye mame a na eye anti rama eye ye rose kwam despite in hokani na enra eye na woda anti anopai wo mani nyina ye se mountiri nkwa sedie wo dode mayen obi se na ho brase kura na ye na yes so quiet ye ni so dia wo ye no so taye papa echi no pa wi ani anajo okunku to dwanim ebodi chidom ewo honhom mu pa ebo mu titiriu no nya hoden abribia no de hwe yen ye wo mani nyina abribia no empa ye nso ye bo ma wo ne se Nyakopon enso mu oba wa hoden enkwatenten ahode ahye ne mma oma onya foforo de bia oma wonanso de bia oma onya kese de bia onti ompa abo anopa wi ana anajo obisa di bi obisa bia no onti no nyama o sense enim se ubisa bi ma yenso ti bebe a obi anopa yi ye montini nkwa bio esa ma montini nkwa ye anti rama ye ra anti rama despite I mean kanisa nti aye die also obaye die me pe show ye pa nti me you show birthday obi say birthday ni me ya enko wan na say me ye show na me ka birthday asama me promise am me promise am ye pa anti rama me ye show ti mensuru kra na fe wase preko pe ma ku se men kancho so mo tiri nkwa ai ma ku so mo tiri nkwa pa nti ono so be you show anti pe na ma so se men kancho so ono so be you show anti se wan so men kancho so be you show oye wo kra ai o so so be you show nti anti Roma bebi obi anopai ye chia wo ma no mi amje na manager sai mase Kennedy ene minuanu munkumani nyina ma utirim kwa pa tie rama no pay ye chia pa ma me chia minua Dr. Eric Cancer Director General GS onia bebi obi ano pe me wache na me chia minua Dr. Richard Boadu aye penny oda get founder no so me chia pa ma me chia chebifu nyina me chia bontindom hene na me chia osadefo amwatiofo penny na feminchia busha penny kwamboati aka lawyer champon me mana chia no pe na biba che bi ache mohwemanim enche meba na fe ya anopa mamre no ayi anopa abujefo be kame so munyina ma de na so minu abekame sa no mame ni kan ena omadi na fe ye hyase na yeni nkomo mi benkum so pe Frederick Kofi Ameyaw ena head of communications Ghana permanent mission to the UN. Inti amama nkabom ko ni nyina the whole United Nations. Papa no da no ko friend say people.
Yeah, ambassador.
There be the oda Unauthorized. Na Kofi Anana na wo ho, no free ho. Ena Bawku bi baaye.
Banki Moon.
Kofi Annan so di name na na efu. Kofi Annan time na yes adwuma na.
Kofi Annan we I think 2007.
And it say no Kofi, e say bibia pesa me kache UN bia no. Me kache Kofi. UN kwache UN for say de omo kunkunku Palestine for no. Omo say only too much.
UN no eya ye was ntimi nkasa. Ye bobo. Near the resolution. Near the atudwa se monfa nya adwuma nti se amama no amfa nya adwuma dia.
Se mutumi nya ho hwe.
Madaroma.
Oh, they communicate too much. I because it's like almost on mine no. What say ni na?
More yeah. And I think that the Security Council passed a resolution to mitigate the air cost. In fact, time Ghana survey as a non-permanent member of the Security Council. We tabled a lot of resolution, or we were part of resolutions. Now a bit to me aboa Amasade Asano. I think Ghana, we have a position on the incursion of Israel and Palestine issues. No? And our position, Ejina Bie Debiana, I say, oh, your mind, I say, oh, to share or mindful for so they are support. That is why, in recent times, Russia and Ukraine, no, we don't support Russia. And we have a permanent position on the UN Security Council. But and we are hoping, say, and now, I think a couple of days ago, Israel forced out to pay and
then answer. Beirut.
Yeah.
Almost over 45,000
But the Israelites, so our position say almost
Hamas will be yes,
they have the right to protect themselves. But the point is that sometimes you have UN, any international agreement now. There are certain installments any may be attack, and you may be want to me found something. And then I think that but I hope and pray that at the end of the day this issue a bit me free or not, because if we are no economy no and just now you say the intokwani come
that's Benjamin Insia and so ha Ben dear
Benjamin Phil
Mrs. Sa
ye point we din komo
I see din komo ye din komo kra asem beba ai
na no o see di hu komo
ye nyahwe ye be din komo so unuanya no but say do time na so unuanya unuanya so won da me kire Benjamin Insia and so ye obi a ye ka nyina mahode nsam ani sikasem tutu ya wa be o say overall obenfo wa ben papa na dwene mu do nti ben nso a ben bibia boko
ya biado meja
the radius na se de we see address na no ho nya sam ketua nti ben so abai de na se no ano na mo bi na be America fort wa bo wa na be wi ni ye Donald Trump na say ma me no friends Kamala Harris wa na be wi ni nti ye twan ni ahwe na ye akiri no next week iko no after by next week na watch pepe na America fort wa ba na wi na ye hu de wedding kwani
on Tuesday on the 5th
on the yes until by Saturday their hopes and normal declare whoever is the winner.
By Thursday we should be clear.
Until Saturday by betina ha na the dynamics of US election and Ghana elections. Now yeah that to one share maybe you try that analysis and also.
Oh wait me because they the same.
Yeah yes.
They the same.
I bet you
the issue is about you
be next week ono so atin America sa America state o minim ni fie minim na address nyina onu say minim
ja no
Entena no pay mama makwa bayi na yehwe kwansa His Excellency Sampiale so be kan ye ho na fe ye to ankomo twetwe no so no nya maye de ye be hye papa no obre ni fie kwa no obro 70 years so still oba nti na okay chiri ha me kra oman no ho do ne show yi ho do nti na ya woba nti enche ye be kwa ama no so na ye di nkomo e de afa boko semsemi I mean baby adro no videos we are yet to me pictures we are yet to be fan chiremo a be so touching say so horrible say this so no correct ya nya bia ye hwe no ha dwene pa anti ye be di sam common akwa chiri sense ye bibia ka o ma ne hye wo kwan bi so isa se de di kan se yanka ne se yankwa yantamu mpo na asam no wo na ma opportunity ma other groups be opportunity kra mo penetrate me di kwasasem bia sabio anka ha dwene na momu no ai se ye de kono na nipa bi susu se nipa bonfo bi betumi abba awura mu ama mo so madwe bone a mo wo no wo mo de abehye o man no so anya anya Ganafo jihadisifo ni na ma okaka ho yi the almost opportunity bia na mo de ye bibia so kwan so no mo fa mo se ha nwo a aish no mo penetrate afa ho na mo de o so mo ye nti asam no is bigger and larger than we think nti ye se hwe na yetumi edi nkomo sabre ye kase nipa about 19 na ye so mawu ya na musi ni boy to ye nkranra nti bibia ye bidi ye ho nkomo esanse ye asem hia pa na fei ya hwe ye nyina mahode ho samsam so wan na de ka ho na etua da ben na ya ba economy no ye se kasam se de sitie esanse mapende da ma se Dr. Baumia to say no economy pa what the word economy no way ni ato nchen ade ti so yin na to nchen or economic wizard wa ben wa adwuma wo World Bank wa adwuma Bank of Ghana se na mampani na nado kan ye no nti we be ekasikasamu a wa ben pa lectures be bring afi de na de onka ho asam kora nti na economy na ebedi nkomo na ebedi nkomo kwa kire person say court the ruling bi aba CBG for also ye revoke o license court the ruling aba awo CBG for de no ho obisre CDH Mr. CDH enti ye be hwe ruling no de ba ye no na ye de atoto Dr. Papa Kwesindum de no so ho na ye de atoto Heritage Bank de no ho any other banks are collapse ye no ho na ya hwe say so ruling here by ye no CDH there by ye no na ye front to hwe say could we have done something different as said ye no na enti no so ye be hwe na ye de no so nkomo san say yasama ehu hia yi papa enti eno so ye be di ho enkomo na afi Supreme Court Chieftaincy a wasie no on the 7th yawa da bay Parliament besan kwasitena biu. Are we going to sit on the right side or left side? Who is going to the right side? Who is the majority? Who is the minority? And also, you be the home and come and anope. It's where the my Kofi. Bawku semi esase anyene. Papa. Ekwa anaba. Na enkobaye nyina no so do baby a aya na the sensitivity of the issue no ekosoro. Let me say, Mitie Ura Kletos Avoka. One of the networks. Nana Oka say, Ebra. Penny Bako, one of the sub chiefs in BSC, Omudini say Jasua. You didn't call so young poster was a dent, you didn't bench warrant to tone so I ain't in Cabino. A bromu year so moon, years I bench warrant in a feed so pay. Or no, Nunya for Kletos Vocano, a friend National Security Minister, a friend Defense Minister, a friend Pennyphobic Catchroom said. They should not allow the man to go to Bawku. So Bawku pe asembeba. Lo and behold, Emisa Nyejuma and Okoye ya we see Bawku di Bawku nsemi Kofi ye be ni den.
Bawku nsemi de yawo. I think about 2 years ago me kwaye bi wo ho. Na answer na be kwaye na bambo bi a o say di kan kono na emotion. So mo be kan che bebre a couple of years, 2-3 years ago, Omanpenyin and Adodan Kwekufado, Eka Bawku Sensem, they indicate even the economic implications of Bawku crisis because almost every month Biano Sika yede koho to make sure say they safeguard their lives and livelihood and properties. A dos yanka yede yebi bifufra ebetimi aboa. In fact, say we show Bawku Sensem na the acquire ne say nipa ana ebusuakuo mienu the Kusasis and then the Mampusis ana omanya asem ana acquire say me na medika you see unse odi the Israel and Palestinian talk the same thing yeah the same thing to the extent say Palestinians and the Hamas thing say omodwin say Israel for no abetna masase so nti asase no yo omodia sa aso na Kusasis for dwin say eye Bawku asase no ye Kusasi for dia na Mampusi for abetna so emire bi no mu hia bambo eye military eye fortification that time na Mampusi for na warriors na omo kofa Mampusi for abetna ho. Now the current Mampusis believe say omo wo eye allodia rights ni say omo tena asase no so ache nti chefa bi a wa asase no so bia no omo so omo nya bi na Kusasi for no so say almost assassin na omodia. Now the Mampusis are more than the Kusasis. And they feel like him for the eye. And also so these are the dynamics that are playing out there and into a cover crisis number. Now we share the geographical location of Bawku. Say sa Ntokwe Air Coast because to their east is Togo. They share a border with Togo. Now we share to their north so Burkina Faso. Now no we share a year Ghana Statistical Service import report on the buyer. You realize that Ghana and Burkina yedi dwapa. And Ghana ne Togo so yedi dwapa. In fact, Osho more study urbanity kakra, you realize that Bawku akwa is a cosmopolitan town. Cosmopolitan means we have you are manfrafo pa. So that area, especially in that location of Ghana, no, is very critical in terms of economy. And only number one. Number two, now all can be about even external security, especially when you have our neighboring countries. And these two countries here, in fact, oko further to a border now more share no share no mutuana. Niger so ya ben omo kakra. Now these countries that yabo mudin and near no pemabo mudin Togo, Niger, Burkina, Ohonjo. Togo has experienced or they had experienced some form of terrorism. Meno kasi Burkina military leader na woho meboa. And now Niger so the same thing.
Sure.
So in terms of security volatile kakra. Inti say ya careful na edidimu a one share the my Ghana ye di tu ye ho kakra say o hwe the area me kan West African area na sub region no a nke kamia ko say babambo a ka Ghana ye ni ye dikan ya nya careful one share the esi wo boko no ebetimi edididimu na amasa aboniyefo aba yehye mu de yempe aba eno ne number 2. Number 3, economically no, it doesn't look good. Said you indicate here, and we will go into the economy. We are currently in a situation that economy no and yes the penno emu sheda nye desa. Now whilst we are focusing on making sure say be turn corner na ye nyoma foforo ama yesika sem enya ahoden mapa na dwadi akoso ama Ghana fo nya ahoto no na afi entokwa so ekoso mesre mpanifo adwebrɛwo esan sɛ bebi a yɛdru no yehia asomdwe yehia nkabom enye den a moye abusunya kro baako matena ho ache you've lived there a whole lot of years me no ka se minim se kusasi ni bi ware mamprusi ni na mamprusi ni so ware kusasi ni
one interesting thing is honorable Ayarga
Mama
Ayarga I think say omami fi mama me kusasi ni na papa mamprusi na so papa mamprusi na mama mamprusi na papa kusasi ni nti na wofo no obako fie no obako fie
enti no ade a mesre ani die mu a nanu ya na yewie dagbon sense ama now we have relatively stable peace in Dagbon. Mesre say any di mu ana ho brase mu a ye ma we entin koda na empenifo o se bebi a ye da no ye mfanto na se ntiase bi na o se ye kɔ se de Dagbon for de ne ye no we be di hene kakra na we so abedi hene kakra na nke ye nye ne sa se no mpo ebe ye adwuma esense yesre bebi o man no ani ewiase kɔ no. This is not what we need at this time, especially in Ghana and especially in Bawku, looking at their geographical area. It's, Bawku for any demo, and a year best start to a basso. It's now a my tension, no so akosoro kakra. We the mestre, a man your phone to a free. Nano me tea a year, your man Penny Dada John Dramani Mahama making a statement in relation to Mr. Yentry and whom free home. Na yema adwebro mpanifo a o se omo kabia yeye no manu kasemu odu no omo mbrem na omo ma ye ntoye mi wogidie mapa e wo yema mpani na nado danko akufuado esan se de ese opia de pa kokotoko no yendina bro na de ofudu apa no ye piano wa ye bi wo Dagbon mestre se de o se ye bia ye bo modern ye na ye nya asomdue mapa wo Bawku.
Kofi ye kan nyina na ye ka say ye hwe na asomdwemra na nka for some time ni de ye hwe dante but for the past 4 years omo shefugu Bawku omo mpere mo bi shefugu Bawku esan so shefugu esusu so de akode be shem
true
moto yi anya de omo akwa mo yusu na wo hwe ho no nso a apart from moto no omo ni any other means of transport. It's moto so into more or less no ye deprive omo e wo ne ma hodo bibire ho till say say me so esansan ko ba ye de curfew. Now one interesting thing is say upon all the curfew no ye da so kum nipa ya na musini ho enura me ne kasa ye ho biu ye kasa Thursday no e ma ne chin padro na ewu enura no pa ne kasa ye no sense so dia say even though yama curfew from 6 to 6 no yes kum nipa meaning say yetete say na kwai say metetaw binya ono makum metetaw binya ono makum sana de na kwakwa yenti no it's like obi anim no yonko
say e kro no say de tie no say dem di kan o mat now so when him say we kusasi when him say we man pusi so it's easier for them to target each other and I say obi anim baby obi edi agrofa a very serious situation na ya benko musa nti the idea because like you indicated earlier interventions are also abandoned to approach for years. That's what we've been done. You can't see the curfew at Bawku ye tini dani abreni. I think a year or so ago me kind of TV3 that time I think say man TV or more Bawku to share national security for this will be war Bawku ya
I see something say something omko hu say
yes
that issue no Kofi uri akasa
and you know as far as urban interventions are concerned no I think say urban be a born home modern day but peace they be a time that issue nearby ya na ye finding lasting solution the roadmap for peace His Eminence the Royal Majesty Otunfo Osetutu Abebio no DNM. I made mention of one fact. Says ye persumdia na si ni pekubi persumdia that peace emanate from them. If you mu eno metimi anya asumdie. The way beba can with the way beba be no eya ensheda emwasa. Enti the peace that we are looking for no can come from the people of Bawku. Omo ankase na betimi anya asumdie. Enti mese asumdie ndi betimi aka as far as abind the way any the ontimi nya the way aka ni the way ntimi kan. Nemo kusasi for ni mampusi for no also mutinase. No munya omunti ase. Na asumdie ma papa.
Yes. I Kofi can say be about Sandy see and national security day. Yet me fortunately for UTV no ye do most copper actually pa and I remember that day ye discuss that issue no na ura dambona wa ha na this UP Bratu Drew former Director General CID oh no kra no wakokoye regional commander was that area ho oh nimu ho nsem ye pa ni mpanyfo bi netenase utie say yi na ye ne victims ni bi a soldier for kobo wo no obako eye NPP I think say assemblyman or yeah MPP ni when me interview no fi ha and ne kasai o mo say Sabre na see something say something no and no mu say nipa bonfo bi ta be ba area until do mu ni say dan cruiser bi gina ba bi na land cruiser na gina ho na gina wa che apake ya che number bi anso say da mo ho ma hu say me say na ba bi say da na atie no nti o mo ko ho apprehend o say na mo fi fa na mo gina ha nti they were not attacked so mo attack won aku mo they were the people like omden crofo no e call police station
minim story ne pa
nti e do mo ko ye kire a Ekoba say to am say akwese everybody is suspicious.
True.
Enti ne yehu movement bi ehye dan ye papa bia. Enti wo mo de ne kwa hu say o ebinum susu say mo nya nkrofo bi na kakra bi ba ye ko bu wo mo. Enti ache say yawde bi onipa mu. Ben.
Yeah.
Yawde bi onkrofo mu wo ho. Esan say ya bobi nua me wo one video bi metumi nyi nkire yahwefo. Eye so touching. Sa wo hwe a menye so betumi adidi. Abrantia no mo che no mo start interrogating no say 2016 2017 we can say ye crash and ye crash na blah 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 no mo kasa ya anti video is just about 1 minute bi na omo end ye kwansi na mo koku abrantia no omo kunu wie no mo de ayigu so na mo hye no I so a young Ghanaian me no nti say yes ah enti wo say obi a ne huni nipa ne sa abrantia no ehunu say tibia wo na mode minua ne fa mu no mode ne fa mu a ben so nipa no so betwe ne sen na me fa umra ye ura kratos avocado na kan say eye no kura a na national security any security agencies no ana say Ministry of the Interior and Defense no wasefo no wo mu di o ma ne hwamo esa samonum say no kura sa branch no ko na so do ha beba adenti ne yensi ne ko no nko a be ko no de ha beba say ye bema oni ye mane ntina fie on tell bi otie na so dwe ba say so no kwa be ko na de ha beba wo mu feli on sa kwan no so
yakura me da say I think that many Kofi Beya dream say peace must emanate from the people say asumdwe ba wana afanu na okun ne so dia asumdwe ne ba sometimes to it is not direct like that. Many at times, it must be engineered from outside sources. Yemfan say Liberia, or more peace, and even though amount for more Liberia not try it, but most of it also came from external sources, because you must engineer it, and that was say here a very complex, multi-dimensional approach. Say nebia o can say obi a yakuni, which means nipa na yakuni nu anokrane was say anka be o man on psychological support. But as to whether as a country we are even giving psychological support to some of these victims, ne or mobusuafo no kra is another thing. Okay. And the more you are not giving psychological support to ma ebinum hu say say wa kumi nu so dia menso meye dia meye bia because ukumi obi amekasa me ho. Right, that is one. But eja ye krum hanum no ho na o kan say bibi e on Ghanaian bana mai so we mai we say on Ghanaian. But the first thing is that I think that we've all failed as a people and as a country. The entire make say nyina failing is meti ha nyina Bawku conflict started from Hawa Yakubu time. Gidi bepemen ne question is me say National House of Chiefs die no mai afa ho
Ahimie na de sa den semneba National House of Chiefs die no mai afa ho mention anti omonka in recent times on this Bawku issue. Why are they not able to intervene, or why are they not intervening? I didn't know because Parliament can say onko or Montanasi, Matese speaker so Mabishiano. Right? And Bawku issue no enye nyasem. So why I didn't know my ID. We are in free war National Peace Council. I didn't know muso my ID. And was say yeti omonka said they are also engineering something. Omo ye bibia ebema asumye aba Bawku. And no more media no say be I mean at least be aja come na obehu because always media no. Omuma media no say na ye ama asumia ba ho. Because me I believe that the avocabeka sometimes cry no say we should limit communication in the media. Because communication is media and also we extremo and 70 BCC was say the year free from a heightened tensions. Because avocabeka ne de one shaibu beka ne de or shako so or man prison beka ne de the more kano or more followers no ejinja omomo
ben woni me twawa no ba mema wa home so kakra de ma me wate na yakwa ama no so na ye ne Adib Sani security intelligence analyst ye kan bambo ho se e be mu pensempensemu padi hu mu a o fifi mu etumi tufo e de fa ho na otumi ehunu de beba chena Adib machi
yeah
bibia boko ye hu wache
so I wouldn't about 20 then Jennifer currently me or no.
I see. Now where there one of we there na the twa fufu na ton kwan mu the security situation na Bawku sabra ye ka say about nipa 19 na penye report enya no ahwere omo nkwa na se yeku omo baby asem no free na baby ababeduro recent days nanka asumdwe wo kakra nanka yente ewuwu sa copying from 24th yesu obi call why this how we akwakoba. In your view as obi a wa ben obambo mu nsemu no uhunu de ekoso Bawku no say bibia we could have avoided it and now say ye hu hwe enyi
yo eja me da say mami chairman studio guest ampa it is something that some of us saw coming because me national security force be afraid me sa anajo sa papa no call Bawku no see Mr. Abisani we are in trouble. Let me see and then what's going on or see agree with Bawku. Let me see what that is a very dicey situation. So the following day, man, Tishi, and I got a number of calls, from Bawku Misumi Fred Ebimu. Let me see, it's still quiet. No, don't worry, the quiet would stop soon. They are preparing. So, idea, like it wasn't a secret. We here national security intelligence there to know that them we invested. So we all saw it coming. But when it is only an indication of the fact that the approach use with respect to Bawku is not working. You see, the height of incompetence is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. This year, a straight jacket, consistent approach is one. You better deploy a soldier for any police for or honor. Basically, more boots on the ground. Okay. Secondly, you better impose curfew, and that is it. Curfew and solve the conflict. That is one thing we should know. Fine. That interim measures, it would on an ad hoc basis, stop it in Takwanoba, Ochina, or Kubium, because we have consistently failed to address the fundamental issues and Unim. The unfortunate thing is, Assembly it has assumed a very political dimension. So politicians almost through a politician, but the first experience of it taking into consideration, and lose vote and I may vote. If a politician is going to make peace, but Obed lose vote or yet, that is the fact of the matter. Okay, so because of that politics, it has further exacerbated the situation. It has made it more complex and more difficult to deal with. The final thing is, the same way, a multidimensional, a number of way that come together, to create that problem. And before you're able to solve it, we would need to approach it from a multidimensional perspective. Okay. As it is, there were other criminal elements almost taking advantage of lawless nature of staff to engage in other criminal activities, to say robberies, to say arms smuggling, almost smuggling, any human trafficking, any drug trafficking, as a matter of fact. And it presents to us a different dimension. Apart from the fact that issue about chieftaincy. Then there were issues of proliferation of small arms and light weapons. It's all a Bawku. We were down for only a soldier for the serve in Bawku. And they tell me that sometimes it's all civilians, but even these soldiers are trapped where they've never heard those sounds before. It's all Omukita. Even a soldier of war, they don't even have those weapons. So, what do you do about it as security agencies on the ground? No, based on actionable intelligence, Omu conducted shoots and raid, okay, and Omu fear, then they search and seize the weapons. But I say, the people have become inventive in the way almost see a tool. You can go into a compound house, even any compound house, upside down. On the other hand, the more a tool almost sees, the more a tool ever system. It's easily replaced because more a demo almost sponsor, almost speaker, and they are able to take advantage of criminal arms smuggling networks to bring in these weapons. So they are useless to seize those weapons in the first place. Rather, what do we do to improve border security so that it will end Bawku? About human insecurity. As early as 12 years, 13 years, on the way of they assemble AK-47 and even disassemble it. And the AK-47 were AR-15, M16 assault rifles. Sometimes could be some other normal because they feel that me papa see outside no omukun me na anything. So we need to improve the human security. Currently unemployment rate 14.7%. Youth unemployment it's over 20%. Okay. issues with lawlessness. Bawku, the thing is, Minia, Obiku, o brother, and our sister, instead of saying, who call reporting my police very in then bring the perpetrators to book our baby. There is a consistent pattern of violence and counter-violence and reprisals, a cycle of some sort. So, and Uko social media, they publish pictures of individuals and truly, believe it or not, then come and write on social media, eliminated, death for good, is 6 feet underground, and all of this is happening on social media. So we say, never be free, and we have to address it. Currently, as we say, Bawku Hospital, or more one doctor, Dr. Bawku, sometimes weekends, also or any part of Ecofi. Last week,
you have 1 minute remaining.
Bruni Bay, what I did by whom I know, I say, Bruni Banny Mupe, I didn't know, but you have more than sense about my can be needing questions or can say me, say, I didn't air corner, I would dissemono, yet you almost recorded at the social media, almost we are eliminated. And tell me, can say on Ghanaian, sometime back later, we say, yeah, sir, Yemen, one money, Iraq, no more one I tell who Sanya man say, yet she'll be an eye, yet you try video, be an eye, yen de ben on answer for what Sabe Ghana Hana Sano. You never beside Nanka besides the security implications. They are a day chair about so far, yes, sir. Jihadis for any Bawku for any, sir, one more Pabonifui. Se Ghana, yes, obi to me, I to son morning, say, what you be. Na me the picture be video be Kofi yam hye ne yes yet to me nyima mo hwe time krakeke ohu e young Ghanaian ti se obantu sini ono wo baby ono no hu se Ghana ya somdwe ho pa ono nipa bone fo hu say to me say o Ghana ha dia ene say dem obetuma baba be na pe say this am common pa ekwachi na so adiba ho na tekwa yes abeka na ya to aso ti ben no one go so awokasa. Yes,
I think that adiba coming 7 na me try to as a curfew and solve a problem. And I think some organizations are also benefiting. So free this particular conflict.
How?
Oh, national security, 6 million a month.
6 million Ghana cedis?
Yes, 72 million a year.
Wow.
Somebody resolve a conflict, right? And your crew must say people benefit from procurement. These are all the resolve a conflict. 72 million based on. If any say Shraj report, say 20% of our budget goes to corruption. 20% of 72 million it may go to corruption. So people benefit from some of this conflict. And yes, Armenia, you bit to me as of Ghana participated in resolving Liberian conflict.
Yeah.
Ghana participated in resolving Ivory Coast conflict. Mekai 2000, Your Excellency, Konan Bedie, he came here. We participated in most of the conflicts in West Africa. I didn't know my conflict into
and yes,
one section. I didn't know solve. That is one. Because others are benefiting from this particular issue, either politically or national security-wise. People are benefiting. I'm not saying them can't want to say. You see, Adib can't send me. Now me can't on so they are no so. Most of these guys in this conflict may be mentally unhealthy. Most of them may be mentally unhealthy. Because of mental unhealthiness, because of say yakun abusuya, yakuninia, and as ye beginning to know, or no not dream and neno, why too emotional that only a dream for a muse, met my dream ye, say Bassa Mensum Kupobia. Too much chance Caribbean. So how many times now ye state, you know, a depressed psychologist to even engage the youth in Bawku. The national security now, I say, national. The see a problem of this state is a national. We don't have a national security. We have people.
National security minister.
Yeah, oncophobia be a metiana medio matema. Maybe no mujina entrance watch me now. But people who will sit and think multi-dimensional, send their deep kind. So bet now Abu Eddie we abeshe wemu, simulate issues and go implement it ye hwese enye ya ye mfa de na enhye ha ma nye yi ye ni bi okroma sa adwen ye ni bi critical thinkers are not there, and because you don't have them intina Bawku ye ntimi solve no enye sa say na make to say even the media engagement say avoka ba be kasa say Ishak ba be kasa on TV, we can black them out. Bit more black, because the more you are talking on TV, no, now supporters no height no more, and this is even social media crowd. But who said I think 2 days ago Nalergu Mario Biko share mo kamadrin kusa sifonso in Bawku almost mo kamadrin, and it's spread everywhere. And the saddest part is that enye Bawku nko, when was that? Monday. Na me wa Shama police station. Omo divisional police officer, divisional commander, whatever they call it. And na commander neka so mu meeting bi. Can you imagine that ntokwane free Bawku aba Shaman? Ama Shaman no kra no obi atuku obi wo no. Nipa mienu
because of
Sasemninti. Right, so it is spreading and it is creating that anger between these two parties, enmity between two parties. Ahwe kra that bi akro bi hu kusase ni kra me ware no. Ana me mama busu yan kone nchen. Obi hu man prusini a me nye sei. Sad niema ni nyina no, it needs a critical strategic national security to solve it. But ye nibi, me nua yenko asem no ho sese bia na me propose solution bi oba bi say
okay. Na we dey mention no your excellency Sampiale so be ka yen santi no. E ma yahwefo enya awo enti your excellency akwaba.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's pa na womre.
Me propose solution bi say Oko Northern Regional enye Bawku nko a, we have tendames who are the landlords and we have chiefs. Mostly chiefs of some they are just ceremonial heirs. Omuni lands. Oko Gonja, there are certain areas in the Gonja kingdom. Gonjas ne ya ahemfo, but locals no e bi o evagala o na etindama o ya asasura your friend say Mandari, say for example maybe Mandari na Safalbafo and landlords tendames, but they are not the chiefs, and these people have lived cohesively, peacefully for generations to come. So Bawku be having a tendama or a landlord no, and having a ceremonial chief no, to live together. They can. It's because someone is not engineering it. People are not engineering it because even all the northern lands, your landlord who is a tendama and the chief. Be a chief no call a landlord but only it is there. This open Bawku se be a kusase for doing say omo the doors. Asase ni omo dia. You can develop a roadmap. Kusase ni betime di ni landlord hene. Na man police ni di ni landlord ni chiefs hene. Ense hwe. So want to mean so there's another strategy I've heard. Say man police for no more 4 gates in Bawku. Bawku kusase have 1 gate. Bawku. I didn't need rotational. We can develop a roadmap. Say okay, say ye be ne sa man prisini currently kusase ni nesi on the Bawku king and I say the kingdom no na ye hene na yire de man prisi na lergu. So say koso hene no abugrabu and his eminence and I'm from say chief abugrabu na ye koso hene udi edi say ufiri mu a man prisi ni bedi man prisi ni free mu a Bawku sambe kusase ni bedi
just like that bomb.
Just
the abudus and
daddies, right? You bet me develop such a roadmap critically involving them in that map.
But that has been done. It's not working.
No, it is not working because we've allowed politicians to engage and involve themselves in it. And I say, Kranakwe two-party, and here His Excellency Sampiale may have a different point of view from what we are also having. Because Akwe two parties, NDC Afafa, and MPP, because it's also developed based on the historical context of that particular area. Most of the man policies in that area tilt towards MPP because almost you say Nkrumah our CPP are buying on the mass problem they buy.
True.
Almost you no. And when Musu say Nkrumah should be also they buy because of the indirect rule system because Nkrumah say some of the chiefs in the northern part were still worshipping the whites. This idea may be na menya omombe worshiping the system na yentimi develop your mind. But babi yedu no yentimi nkoso enkuye ho. Yentimi nkoso emama mfo nhwere omonkwa because of say ahinie. Yes, ahinie is good. I really like it, but even these days ahinie no I don't see it that much because ahinie most of them are becoming Christians and true Christians not practicing our culture. No, I don't see it that way. But it's good. It was a support. But I think that the time has come for the people of Bawku, whether in Accra or the Bawku people, no amuno, Emma peace, no, Eba, because yen to me, because Emma will be benefiting 72 million Ghana cedis a year as a result of that particular conflict. Now, maybe and also I made Massambia, maybe by no, I did Kasembi, and there be a kind of porous nature of our security. Minia, I come now. Here, me try to her. Me say Ghana wahu, Kroma. Say you can say in several war. It will be very easy. Kroma. If say anger emanated from the people, not say several war be easy Kroma. It will be the easiest to come. Didn't na make us up. Here Bawku kumai. Here two ewo. Who is the patrol borders? How are the guns getting there? Do we manufacture guns in Ghana?
This is sophisticated weapons.
It tells you that your defense fairly, your immigration fairly, your customs fairly. Even Ube Komokrano, some are even supporters of this gun importation. Some are betting this particular crime because Ube Komuna be an nipano or doing some yeman prison into my men supply me guns in my prison for. We so doing some ye kusas in my men supply me guns kusas for. And your national security, baby, as a national security, and to me, and so we in an because and guns no almost yes in a film, and they have become too sophisticated and very innovative that you see how crown how they call Bawku film. Nagan, how did the guns get there? How did the guns get there?
And we say, Mr. Ben Insebisa.
Your Excellency, you know he's an experienced politician.
Yes,
he knows
are we failing as a state, as a nation, when it comes to Bawku Semi? Essence said, your video should be yet to me is too touching. And as I say, no share a binum some more can. They don't fear Uwobu. Yan concorda, Mubekuya, Mumikuyan. And TMI says, your national security architecture, no, and I fairly. Did we not envisage say so nipane yese okokuru no so no asem betumi aba and we check betumi odipa ba ko pe ye betumi aka say yese ye mo na mo brofa ka say yese ye no sacrificial lamp ye tumi odipa ba ko pe ni ntina ba bi for the peace of the whole community yan gada intel bia say asem say betumi asi sase mesi kwa ana abedu bebi eduri
yo ejakob na ma minchie na minchie me wo fast free Ghana for what hen na like I do always train na your cut off akosumboni train bi na your cut off akosumboni what has happened to them
ayi tamampaka dan train nia accident
because Yaji Indian government new loan repayable payment will be started next year. Them railway not that one. Yaji Indian government loan next year the repayment or start. Right? The essence of the loan in there. Burkina Faso na what they want them what the fatama happen. Okay? Yadi yamfa ingen easier. The yamfa training from ko Pakadan. Yeah, that for vote and no that ko. Right. What has happened to that? That's why we did the Pakadan Railway. I get fair say yeah railway at all. You understand? So what has happened to it? Again, let me ask. Whoever took the decision, say Ayalolo Bas, engineer BB for 6 years, 7 years, and suddenly you know, what was his reason for doing that? Because the bus now I fed almost that issue, but you know so I did that. Why for now do me now what to do? And I fed almost buses to the street. Who took that decision and why?
You be actually you be the unko pa unko say go ride aba. I say you the app aba
it's getting frustrating. You know, Ben Obia mfa ne sebenkum enche ne jakrom. It usually say make tribe who be asama. Ya na me bit
you're careful.
Because e bia na man cite history ni year. Ibisa na my understanding of the situation is not what it should be.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you resolve it? As to why, what caused it in there? The same say yatraho.
Yatra, yeah.
And yatna why I am Hayama atra man and Kwalam getting cry is to aso in fact how can be so da say yana thereby ye curfew and to me and solve soldier for and to me and solve make a yendi no curfew and to me and solve soldier for the go was on microphone curfew and to me and solve and mom when we use our traditional dispute resolution man and something in no it me resolve here. And yes, sir.
So I request started Bribempo. Say, before time, now.
Yes,
that started.
What kind of man penny? Before time, I didn't he placed a total media blockade on the Yana issue. That was a wise decision because journalists now want to report to know who inside I want to know. It's camera no, so we use camera. But me check camera na mo ahwe Jacob na nko say wonu kwa na ti ha. Obesi a check camera na ma yemienu. It journalists no want to report no. Wo ni angle a person will report case no. So Omanpeni Kufuor place a ban, total ban on media reportage.
What do you mean to honor Sabere no na ye dey honorable the late honorable Akubo Debra, Ekwe regional minister. Yeah.
You see, it is a total failure of our system. Apart from wasting our money, the insecurity architecture in Ghana has totally failed. Especially so when this time there were more security coordinating points. There were minister for security, there were minister, national coordinator, whatever. Many of them. Not saying to me, one town, one city, one whatever you call it. And to me, so one problem. Not then you bet me aye. As for mine, not then you bet me aye. No wonder you to me saw a street light. Street light to me so. Look at us.
One interesting thing, so they say, the interior minister, I not now. The defense minister, so I
not now. The original ministers were.
Interior ministers, sir.
Interior minister,
but
before, no, yes.
Ambrose Delhi.
Yeah, Ambrose Delhi. Yes, Ampa.
Yeah. So, I don't want to personalize this discussion, but I'm saying, say, Assembia war. What is the root cause of this? Some say it's chieftaincy, but you see, I did not try chieftaincy.
Yeah.
I bear economic interest. I want to place this on record strongly. Say, I did not try chieftaincy because everybody knows say, for a long time, no, they were working about. Whether he is legitimate or illegitimate, media information.
Yeah.
But I have always read say there's a Bawku Naba. I have also known say in Bawku no, there were original settlers. I saw Mr. Kusau was saying Kusau, and there were Mamprusi for so Ebeka, right? That is what I have been made to understand. Unless somebody have a different narration, say Mamprusi for the Oho and the Kusau for so Ebeka. That's another point altogether. Now, Mr. Sia, Oko Kumasia, you have Auna Fantinu Town, you have Moshi Zongo, you have various plans. Na Asante Nabo Mina Ainofu, Obiayo Hine, but none of them can rise to claim so one in Asante. So let us apply this principle to the Bawku crisis. Yen to me, a solution for Metana. When traditional common sense fails, Bukulam cannot solve, soldiers cannot solve, curfew cannot solve. And the example like I've cited here, Nana Santini, to me solve yendi crisis and on put them closer. I had to say, my name is he just said, in your phone, you know, so that one is easier to resolve. But when you are two different tribes. Wow. Now, I have heard a story which you saw to be believe say Kwame Nkrumah the cause a problem, but no.
Okay.
When the white men wanted to add the northern territories to Ghana project, you know, he set this indirect rule using the Nairi, right, for his side. Okay, but then the Mamproses were they are migrants and good traders. So when Kwame Nkrumah came, he tried to fuse the two systems of the indirect rule and the Tindanes and the rest of Wakano. So the problem didn't start with Kwame Nkrumah. It's Kwame Nkrumah's attempt to fuse the systems, you know, albeit without consideration to the undertones. Because the Mamproses having enjoyed the white man's support and legitimacy, you know, first say, hey, I just say, Obia or Sikana never go school, na akwada wotin in go school. So eventually, when the man dies, now Kwana or go school, no, or very more powerful is Papa na never one go school. No. Do you see my knowledge? Yeah. So, hey, we have for a long time enjoyed the white man's support. Yena ya brofo. Uko many places na Mikrum Elmina ya wa brofumba. Oh, and ya wo afarafumba. You know, so this has been the petty undertone of this matter. The recent one, Ayeken, is somebody has been installed as a rival chief. And if you read the Chieftaincy Act, until a chief is destitute, removed, or the seat is vacant, you can't install a new chief.
No.
Right? And even in that, under those circumstances, you know, so we free a busionimu. Yen to me show say, "One uncle ye or any and a bush penny." A job of last week, one me bush penny. Oh,
really? Hey, Nana bush penny.
Nebush penny, na come to you.
That's right.
You see, it say, ye to two and traditions not Asia. And it sounds some in a bed ever. Again, the British rule, no, and yet very easily understood. Oh, the mission above no, and to say, Queen Kasa, and as a king Kasa, as in significance. Ghana had king Kasa as in significance, right? And in the north, like in Sierra, it said, land ownership, clear that the Tindana, the spiritual leader, who is the owner of the land, and of late, the people that didn't know of any paramount chief.
Yeah.
They didn't know of any paramount chief, and as a paramount queen mother, we have unintentionally or and young systems gradually cover. So I'm paramount. I'm what? I'm overlord. I think you know, understand what I'm saying. Because once I'm declared or I declare myself overlord, who am I?
2 minutes in Ukraine.
I don't know. And yes, I think, sir. You see, the political angle is more dangerous now. The political angle is more dangerous now. The NDC want to benefit from the crisis. The MPP want to benefit from the crisis. And yadi talk on yakun about NDC MPP no. Yadi akoho. We failed to tell our supporters say many a friend saying Kofi hey. Your broken talk was screen so, but your power near kwa.
We didn't come. What do mean? My camera you kumasina you Kofi Juma. I proud of him Moachi and Alaji Sani, Kofi Juma for MPP, Alaji Sani for NDC. Inti I team or manopa. Inti ya na bra ayi Alaji Sani kasade niya kasade no na bia na Kofi Juma actually so no oti Alaji Sani kusu ya ni bi. So wonti. No abon nsa. Ente make there was a day we so Kofi so jade aye no. Okay, or we some mission nyina no okay nti no omo kegbegbe a wo nyina didi bom mo studio nti me ma ya hwefo ati asese your excellency ka no gbegbegbegbe in but in reality no hwe we ye party otun safre we maybe won invite me bi Kofi ye party won invite me so be invite your excellency amanako Etino. Na make the assessment so much.
Asama make it. Me so me dey see asem so. Makoda bi. Epe admission to senior high school. The grades were within, but this a penny. You know what I did? Me ko placement center ho. And now cobra, adiacha cobra. Me timika manam me ko minister ho. I want to tell Ghanaians say some politicians na yakunto children don't follow them. Don't follow us as politicians. And I may call minister, me call na the bodyguard net ho. Na security secretary as a whole. Me be man say minister say he's not there, he's attending a meeting. I'm saying, I've been a minister before. When I see the minister's car sitting there and I see the bodyguard there, then the minister is there. Me kasa ya pena minister and bodyguard. Also chief, come sit down. And I'm just digressing to show to people say Santo Konhuna Yaku TV suno. It must not reflect people's character. To cut a long story short, next Saturday, Thursday, no me call a call from the minister himself. Say, I've made your placement. Minister Duchum, thank you so much. This is an orphan boy I have adopted. Oh, dear Mechan, I say, now what you crassy. Now what you mean, baby kakra, you see, so I'm saying, sir, is here you have asked the right question. Who is benefiting from this crisis? Etiona omodokono. So we hear sometimes womu echi motorcycle. Womu timidi etioni share a friend say baby enya city na so baby motor na nanim kakakano anda ho. Baby petrol tank. Womu timidi etioni bi ehye ho. Ebro motor kram de tuo ehye ho. So you find out who are the gun dealers in Accra and Kumasi. So yen timi misa womu say this year, how many guns have you imported? And to whom did you sell? Because we told it to Mobia or so woman dealer's license, no purchase license. And some of our police station, license. Granted, say woman police station license. But woman a gun dealers, they are known. And I'm in this a job come none many told you. Let's say tune me to 40 also to 40 you 80 guns and our system no. Let's say 80 guns you are tuning here. Who bought it? Are you saying the national security, Ghana police are incapable of identifying the gun dealers and find out who bought the guns now?
Owura Dambonata aka say me say oman no de ekoso boku ni nyina no wo mu nim nipa ehye akire. It is no question nim nipa ehye akire. Why don't you anything yen na say anere obo apayo ana adi say say nipa na nim so wo mu na ehye ade na chi no yen chi wo mu ntwe o maso na thousands of people, millions of people
me best starting law no. There's a law story behind it takampa openi bi na neba or your lawyer na land case we made the case na 26 years that neba kakra a small boy we free law school abano was papa I finished the case was the case when we finish it was so land case you know we are pass ya pa sa case in that we call law school aba
and so did you and
was here pass ya pa go and put an appeal. What I say, there are some people who are benefiting from this nonsense.
It is a sumbe beba ne de I mean scan de mema tokana koso asen ba me yi that is too bad anyway
and me send you video be
yes,
the political angle of it
you better say be but a bit sensitive intino
yeah
your videos be your other videos or ha you bet me kasa no kra no me di ba ko bi kire kofi se na no mato awo akra started no ya kasa e be yi a
but if that is the position taken by a tribe to the extent of putting a fatwa on his people say don't deal with this political party, don't trade with this tribe.
I understand.
This was a press conference by one of the parties who said, sir, Kofi party way there, don't deal with them. Mane mag area biam the six,
Maybe the
no, one by campaign, the 6 constituencies, though, that particular party should not come there.
Hey.
And now, Obian so you say, "Walk Kofi no, we pay pa." You need nobody.
Wow.
No one man for say, "Cause you know nobody." Let's just say that. This is how dangerous we are heading to. Who told you say Ghana is a peaceful country? Who said Peki Alabama for conflict? No.
Yeah.
Who said Tito Alabama for conflict? No. Who said no? They are confirmed in Tokano.
The Konkoba Nanuma.
Konkoba Nanuma. That time I was a district chief executive in Cape Coast. And I made some marketing in Toko.
Oh, Cape Coast.
Cape Coast. And I made the police for the call. What was the cause? The auto confirmed Nkokono were one of the tribes people. And I neba issue. And the issue no ekogu the other person.
I remember that story.
You remember that story?
Yeah, very well.
Ekogu Bawku no issue no miniko for when they plow with nature. And Crawford no much what they be a kasa no because of the fight up there no. When they plow with the chose him. And the issue about Koba a tree na efa hobegu no. Hey, that caused the problem in Cape Coast. So I brought them to the assembly. They have no reason apart from say we're not coming here on your room. And the answer is you and then I acquire a branya who couldn't people never acquire NDC for me and son.
Oh, ambassador.
A man, a Korean maker will go on that. That
was in the early 90s.
Yes.
Yes, I remember that stuff.
Chief, say Ghana home. Say you can say you're a peaceful country. You were there. The thing that holds us together, your nationalism, patriotism, we are breaking it with politics. We are breaking that unity cord. No? We are breaking it with politics, money, and everything. Now the danger of it, say, we have a very porous border. In Bawku, a little drive upwards. Now Paga, you are going to Burkina Faso. On the right side in here, Togo. Right? First, this side in Ivory Coast. So when these insurgents are being driven from Burkina, where did they come?
Ghana.
Yeah.
Who say insurgents usually or in northern parts of the country? You see, where did they run to? Ghana. And what makes it more dangerous is one more easy and cheap source of money from Ghana through Galamsey. Enti warlord be between the Nkola Beshe Galamsey site. I'm mining enough money, buy enough guns, right, to go and do his business. Because when you watch it, Bukom Hara, a friend said, Nkola no school and Onyeska. Or kidnap Ubia and Onyeska. That is his business. Human trafficking, say, Obia wa call Libya da. That's how human beings are traded across the Sahara. Utika wane yacho ala edoko, and they go and do harvest of your human parts. All these illicit trades are going on. I say a warning Ghanaian security say, see a giant idea way, a go deeper. At the assembly.
Just listen, let me be question.
Maybe so. Yes. See a demonstration. Wow, a demonstration on Kran. Police mo work. Way, what was this? Members also, you yadio. We are Bema, Ukwapono. And to Ghana police for Ghana Armed Forces, Ghana Air Force, more parking helicopters no, a hangars no, helicopters near Toma Omono, one parkis you hope. And the moon to me for helicopters in Koya surveillance. Are you following me? You are talking helicopter, no police. You are talking fire service, cannot change the grass or helicopter. No one. Into say helicopter and air 4 grandpa 4. Where a national crisis. Hey, move it there. Now, sana o anajo sori akokun obi let's say who say helicopter na wo sora unwane
I didn't quite say the curfew no more the aba 6 to 6. Now one interesting thing is ye ne ya na musifo no di nkomo enra ama ne kan say no because obi ani mo obi anti no yetete during the day no pass 6 to number 6 no enra ko mukum nipa 2 enti na say onimba bi onipa fa ko aha enti na wi ade onamu a na echi wanakpa na ye
do it's a very close society obi ani mo bia
enti na be say national security imperative no is it say that may be say yentumi nkada intelligence bi ehunu say ochina we betumi asi wa ha enti asi edi kan si anokra asasam na ba
I don't know if
my excellency me 1 minute
oh sorry
your security and your intelligence once you merge the two you get it wrong if you think security ni woma beti abobo say bibini a oba mobilize woma you are getting it wrong. That is physical security. But say even Indian says I'm doing intelligence. Wow. Russian say I'm doing intelligence. Nanye Russia for normally oba echo that president Tibino. KGB. Some people they whiskey power. Okay.
Profile you.
I am for our tatna. They did all that is intelligence. They do all this. And sana at the end of cry then see. Because say who say nimpe of political interest we parking the car is that a politically exposed person we parking the car the next moment there should be national intelligence officer around. What you say? And your national intelligence say MP before a demonstration now NDC for a t-shirt no that's not intelligence. Intelligence no by surveillance.
Okay.
Now your national intelligence there say they want your political post. You know, I don't blame them. I'm blaming them because they are the people who pay to protect us. What did them just say? Many someone, but the point is that you have been appointed and being paid to do that for us. And so if the system is failing, say to me fighting Galamsey, to me and fighting Bawku, when your predecessors have been able to go and stop wars in Liberia and other places, then what is your scorecard? Thank you very much.
Thank you to Your Excellency. When you are beside that questions, before that question, but your topics, we know is here discussing. Now, could you can be briefly?
Briefly, but okay. I think so. Uti Afani, you realize that I think there's a need for national security to do more. That is not in context. However, I believe strongly that whilst we do that, now also about more to recognize our more efforts, not just this government, but you are talking about Penny Kojochi Kata, National Security Coordinator, in terms of the job Juma Omaye. Minya Insia made mention of the fact that Ghana a fertile ground for civil war.
There's another one, Opoku. There's another national security word, Opoku.
Francis Bawku. Yes, we've had all these people.
Yes,
we've had the current one, Mianka Madam for Nana Tubrakweku. We have so many others. We've had this gentleman, Mr. Onoso Okuta, Edimbi Kwekusa, Kwansen. That was the Consul General in New York. Wonderful, fantastic man. And he starts to crowd National Security, National Intelligence Bureau. I am saying that indeed true. Ghana is fertile for civil war because of how intertribal we are. Wait now, and also Penny confirm here. But we haven't gotten to where because of I believe our security intelligence that doesn't mean but we should when we are we should also be reminded sub-region I don't want to bring in so much of as far as UN is concerned because your core Security Council, Ghana was a non-permanent member of the Security Council for 2 years, and we presided over the Security Council in December, and I was there, and I'm a PRO there, and I know what we have done. Resolution 2719, and then for the first time in the history of the UN, for almost 79 years, 75% of Security Council the Bar Africa for support. And under Ghana's presidency, and 18 years. When it comes to security intelligence, I don't think in Ghana we don't have critical thinkers. We do have it. We need to appreciate the work they are doing.
Okay.
However, their challenges are the best stress double up or more effort.
Me that's it. Nanka wana me ya. Your Excellency, na muna yenko mampenda da mahama 50 obi the message be about slavery and ya kan wasem so moton yi no se odi Ghana ha o se last week na owo Mauritania they say o se the ton nkoa no e wo ho pa ogboko na shikeji mu human traffic wo ho o se blacks ye ton mo Mauritania pa kwa you do muja
so okay Puff Daddy America for
did
America so wo pa say be omo ehim no de omo ba jantan so human trafficking
yes it e obabi anti ye de no ye bobon pa me ready ye firi hama ye
amen
na asomdwa tumi aba na Bawku bi so de ode bae no ono oka no colonial yi say ya Britain and could defeat German na France for no mo che Togo mo ne nasefo no ewa na yebeka ho asema da proprietor ebedi ho enkomo na yetumi ahwese le nema bisi akwafa enti your Excellency ma mse sem fanfru so we yemfa time nto ho na yehwe at least you sube 5 minutes I was asking ebetumi aboa pa on the 7th according to report on the 7th Parliament be sign akwasitena bio. Is the NDC going into Parliament as the majority or as minority? Your Excellency.
Last week, we be some question, and I'm the catcher say, Ghana, your problem here, and your minority or majority, and a person. I made my point clear to you, and I still maintain that. I can't have many days to elections.
35.
What is happening in Parliament for me, as a person, they needless. And yet needless. I'm not talking about NDC or MPP. I am saying, sir, your lawmakers, how they are conducting themselves in such matters, you know. You hear leadership kakra. Tiana ma feet, you miss a bonsu.
Mr. Bonsu, dear. It's a Ghana for by too much.
Ghana for.
Oh no, Mr. Papande. Miss frankly speaking. Me ever since Mr. Bonsu, leader ni there. Who say or kwa ofa so a.
Yefa.
Or the energy.
Obe to brofa kesi no odi watem but he has a pathway. Yefa afenyo marking. He made a statement. Me am congratulating him. Was it? Now I'm a majority leader. So I'm going to be careful the way I do my things. Who carries that statement on here? I'm going to be, but is he living to his words? The whole problem is not about law, it's not about constitution, it's about leadership failure. I've heard many commentators I guess, oh, so same way there, can you say escalate court to cry? Because it's not the first time was that same way at the Parliament. Ukai Adjoa Safu.
Yes.
The former the current interior minister, Henry Kote, Kennedy Japan. When you say MP before Ankasa, Etro Koma speaker say, Young Vaketi seats in Parliament, especially Adjoa Safu, because they have not come to Parliament for 10 days. No. Nanka Obi and Odeboko Parliament, Adeboko Supreme Court says for interpretation. The speaker looked at it, and so it is not in the best interest of the country. And the privilege committee handle. Today, what the privilege committee at one report. Assembly of what? You from Merachin Neka. You defeat your son. We are not in China. My Supreme Court is saying, sir, oh, one of the reasons why the Supreme Court was very angry was the fact that Nkrofo more at Memphis Central and a place of 4 people now. They are going to be denied representation in Parliament, albeit for this 2 months here. Okay, and I'm one. 2 months. Assembly say now 2 months, and I can say 20-something days. Now you ask yourself, what happened in the Jechikwe case? In the Chieftaincy case, the Supreme Court did not only say, Papa no any MPB. They went further to say, Bibia ewo the Chieftaincy dimu as a member of Parliament, spongy.
Records.
So if you go to National Archives and every place now, by that rule, the Chieftaincy should not have existed as a member of Parliament at all. So the Parliament is still going on expunging his name. That time, were we not minded for 15 months? For 15 months, were we not minded, say, the people of Asin North were going to go without representation? And one of the cardinal sins of our Fourth Republic here, the people of Apafu, Santo Kofi, Apafu Lolobi. So 4 years or 48 months, we as a people, we are minded about 2 months of non-representation, but we are not bothered about 48 months of non-representation. Well, so we share Lady Justice, so Lady Justice no, we're blind though, and at Okita scale, we say I will tilt my scale based on your evidence. Now say one instance, say people of Asin can lose their representation for 15 months. The people of Sal can lose their representation for 48 months. That's 2 months. What the two scale is? I have found the eco form. The technical aspect of this is the Speaker has made a ruling, okay, and the Supreme Court says stay your ruling, which means they are not a war and sign that we take a decision. Stay. Question will be saying, that's how I'm going to answer it. When the Speaker makes a decision, it becomes the decision of the House. What I say, you need Parliament, not the Speaker, to vacate that decision. The Speaker makes the ruling, it binds the whole House. For the Speaker or the House to rescind that decision, it must be done by resolution. It is Home Parliament. Now, Obia resist Speaker. I raise a motion. Say your decision now taken based on Supreme Court's ruling. That decision should be vacated. Then the whole House will vote on it and accept it. On the day now, you call Parliament. You call Parliament. I join the Senate. So if the MPP had taken their time and sat in the chamber, they would have formed both the majority, the quorum for commencing business and quorum for transacting business. What happened that time when Afenyo Makin led the MPP out? The Speaker then said, okay, we have formed the quorum for a meeting, commencing the meeting, but we don't have the quorum for transacting business. That's the reason why we are here this week. I think that I know the Speaker and his fidelity to the law. I know that the Speaker would not want to have any crisis with the Supreme Court because they don't want any constitutional crisis out of these needless issues. The Speaker ought to put this matter when the people sit in Parliament to say, sir, the Supreme Court had ordered. What do we do? This will talk, and then they will take a decision. But, I say, now I'm saying political. But, I say, there are some people, they feel like my nephew Afenyo. I still miss Chairman Soboso. Because the conduct put by Afenyo Makin on that day on the floor of Parliament is not parliamentary. No. You think Chairman Soboso will be standing there?
Say ono eka say oka say nkrofo so fi
nkonya so.
Na say ebia say nkomudi ekweso behind the scenes omudi nkomo ansana ebia wo mo ba betena siti se nema bi to si
me ka kosi assemblies na kwaje ko betie mi. Mo na mo wa bam. Mo na mo bills egu apaso. Okay? So if you create a scene in Parliament, Parliament into me sit here, who suffers? And I make us I miss James Abon's. James Abon's interest will be once I have my bills to be passed. A concrubia mefasa may engage me opponent, I would engage them so that we'll sit down and finish government business. Because bills now can be very important too. Uti Billa, I will say, sir, obnoxious environmental law now you're to Jose. You're mining in forest reserve. They have to vacate that. There was loan agreement to be say yes signing. And there was back on the amino friends tax exemption before for so-called 1D 1F for no. Because you started 1D 1F for 8 years. And one fast one there you
But CGD reports say that the Ghanaians are happy with it.
Me can't say whether I'm happy or not. As a Ghanaian, I'll be happy to say my country is going to be nationalized. And as I'm But the output of the industrialization is what I'm questioning. What I say, for 8 years of industrialization, they can't only a year juice. You can't juice.
Maybe I could feel different ones. Many
169 factories which are operational.
Come way.
Of course, I can give you.
But not okay. Could you say you better make us away there? Could juice into you? Am I to me to be? Into apart from could juice.
So okay, so 169 factories here a year, Juma. It should have impact on our foreign exchange if they are export companies. It should have impact on our export. Has it had impact on our export? It should be there because the factories are in my country though. And I'm going to give them tax exemption.
Okay.
The prices should be lower.
Okay.
Kofi.
Asem can say do be adure because me send your excellency can me tena se dwunu wodi say issues be cry ye kese chain nia asie ya empapemu akoko be ye nne akopi court na sefue and mama fanfa. Okay, no me de bema Benisi and say we work with political party, the political person team. Ebra court take a decision. Speaker take a decision say NDC is the majority and as I said NDC I could see a name say NDC for so majority where MPP is minority. Leadership is what we are talking about here. We have finished a press conference, and I think one of the media houses, Joe FM, can say minority leader. And also the only minority leader, or a majority leader, a bona fide, position. It's my bona fide. The guy said, "Oh, you said that word, Why should he say the majority being a majority leader? No, your non-Japan, the personal. Why should he even use those words? Anke bi obetua for kwan bi so use some polished word bi anka be man ye hu say ade no koye kura na me no kwa me fa so betumi adane because being a leader no comes with so many in some they say we are oniama fa and they say mo ko in Monday say mo ko occupy majority side and say mo ko minority side and say mo ko mo be ko mo offices du bra na maba
eja on say enkomo na ekoso mati onunyanfo afenyo but the nano a course no ye prohibited so bono ye fambo speaker of parliament.
Okay, I didn't.
In fact, I'm disappointed with Dimitri Mopa looking at his background and his history experience. One, he was the longest serving member of parliament in the history of our Fourth Republic. He is a lawyer of long standing and of a lot of repeat. Nti decision no na no take ye no a ewie baby a ewie ya ye di hu nkomo ya ye bo afenyo din so bo bi wo ho amede bono.
Okay,
disappointment bi wo ha menya wonimu because one also visiting history as a member of parliament president the atwemu eko a no oye member ehu nkomodie eko so when an issue went to court, now a decision had to be made. As far as JJD ministers be by said that be young bypass a parliamentary procedure. Now GHMs are the courts. The Speaker of Parliament then, DFNA, recognize the fact that Assembly court, for that matter, let me stay and wait till say issue ni be address it. There was a president as a speaker. No also ohwe so ye. Wan hwe so anye. Na no openi chairman sabonso nyanyamfo a ye boni di na bio. Oka Joy News interview bi organti said, in private, the Speaker of Parliament now disapproved of the decision Makokwe took as a Speaker of Parliament regarding Andrew Esiama issue. Say MPP for letter Maya. Subsequently, he used that to more or less declare that seat vacant. I say in private, the Speaker now disapproved of that decision. So now you are a Speaker. Now issue be a banner the issue at court. Being a lawyer, the longest serving member of Parliament, now a Speaker of Parliament, then you go ahead and make that decision. It wasn't a ruling, Ambassador, respectfully. He didn't make a ruling. He gave an information. Say, when a member of Parliament, so too many. So I am telling the House. So by the interpretation of the minority, the NDC, because Speaker, I'm making comments, I'm fan say, so 4 seats, vacant. For that matter, it goes against the majority, which is the MPP side, until now they are the majority.
Is that what happened?
Oh, that's exactly what happened.
Sir.
Oh, yes.
Sana wo ti ase.
Sana metiasi.
Okay.
Kofi.
That's it.
The issue goes to court. Say, stay in your hands. You have an opportunity to come back to Parliament and rectify. You decide not to do it. You decided not to do it. Now, Ambassador Kambibi said, we had an opportunity on that Thursday to go about business and have discussion. I disagree. When the NDC had already occupied the majority side, and it can be before to create chaos in the system.
But why
should we do that?
Also chaos. Minority side and the chaos baba.
We have experienced it in this 8th Parliament before.
We say a
seat that is designated for the member of Parliament for Tafu Pankrono, Unimam for Ekwasifua, na Ebia Sosu Francis Xavier Sosu, Etna Sakunya Niswa, and tis a Vincent Echo Parliament on Sakunya Ben so Nidim.
Sir, there be numbers to be say, so almost all cotton at Ramodeso. And
yeah, Banaki, young cotton,
or Martin at Ramodeso. I would in common yedi, maybe one cotton, Benus Abetina. And to cover the Baba.
Dabio, sir, you see, Sebi, any demon now in Brazil, boom. Parliament or India grow.
Some say the kiosk, but I said kiosk Ben at the Baba.
Because Yamubida, I see that in this 8th Parliament, where they were struggling over seats, Sebi, and any demon may cancel the kiosk Baba because, and yes, my genius, I see that. It happened before.
About say majority minority.
To the extent that Aya Onyonyam for Aslowusu sat on the laps of Aya Akando. Is that what we wanted to see on that day? And why should that happen? And I'm saying that Parliament here, we transact serious business. India grow, you're matching pass for Parliament. Yet Nancy do a man who come up, a bobo. Actually, I said your penica, your bills were also here. Man, we want to fight against Galamsey. Your ally or see free. The majority of Ghanaians are happy with one district, one factory, and that is enabled by a tax waiver. The Ghanaian wants to see that. That has to be done in Parliament. Parliament, you're marching pass. So my point clearly, and I don't want to go into the legalities of it because I'm a lawyer and I'm not so versed in law. But what I believe, because eventually, what the Supreme Court has said is that the who speaker here, you shouldn't have done it. That is why I'm saying.
Has the Supreme Court ruled that?
Oh, Supreme Court says stay.
The state doesn't mean say what you did is not right. Listen. If I have a land litigation with you,
no, so
all right,
don't
and just say I just say
I am saying that
the state didn't say
there have been two issues, so Ambassador, two issues. One, he gave that information. I don't call it a ruling. Because ruling you say be afanu edin common here we not speaker wa betina is okay. In common course we na madwin tete. That's not what happened. Two,
no, what happened? If you say the speaker gave information, can the speaker's information be interpreted in court? Okay, go ahead.
And two, an opportunity was availed on Thursday for him to rectify the fact that, okay, one, per Article 97 of the Constitution, G, a vacancy be available. Or say, and I say obi cross carpet and I say number of wabakiting seat and only number one, number two. You know, and I say the institution or what right to declare a seat vacant, no, the High Court. That's why I'm saying I don't want to go into the legalities because at the end of the day, the Supreme Court has given a ruling, and I believe that I won't be disappointed by the Speaker again. Now, may I do not say Parliament reconvene November 7th now. Or recognize the mistake he committed.
Oh. Okay. But me say question briefly enough me call you so yenhwe. What's the only opportunity on Thursday? Sanka obetumi year correction the previous decision as some more kind.
So no, it is not founded in law to make that
say founded not founded only the needed correction.
Yes.
So that I saw the needed correction. Most of my parliament. Intending some mama floor na so mobile floor na kawanya na keden na so be so aka say you got opportunity both sides ni na buy san ko betumi take decision said idea me yi manye ni na say bibia tisa na momu no mo a mo se mo komo ayi say speaker ba na mo aba speaker ba no mo ama enti no so opportunity na mo so mo nya nka say mo ko na nka obi ka say mo so mo kra na so mo kra na mo kra mo buy omo buy no speaker bibia no gina ho no gina it is Supreme Court assign gina I said the omo kan na no maka dia speak opportunity anya no what you mean use ni I didn't mo so man ko
eja here was standing orders of the house e kan ye mra na ye de boy ho bra Parliament enyoma omo ye no ye mra no mde ye adwuma mra no bi kire say wo ye majority side of the house wo be bia wotena
okay
and mra krona sa kire say wo ye minority wo bia wotena and the same law tells us say a MPP need the majority of the 8th parliament.
How did you become majority?
And it's our 8th parliament.
Let's ask the question.
How
did you become the majority?
Question me, you
no, how did you become the majority?
Before I answer your question, let me respond to that question. That Emrano say MPP need the majority of the 8th parliament. Until almost come and say with your fee no or wherever you did say with your fee in Bekwa, your baby also they sit on the right side of the speaker,
including the independent parliamentary candidates.
On the
your parliament your parliament minority be obi omote, majority be omote, independent so be omote. Enti independent ni no aye otena majority side and I say obey business with the majority and I say he's majority, we see them as NPP parliamentarians and a majority, and the NDC parliamentarians a minority, and they were independent. Independent say, I'll do business with NPP.
Does it make you a member of the NDC?
Is he sitting there as an MPP, MP, or an independent MP doing business with NPP?
May I answer a question? No? And that answer is that, besides, I don't know, Thursday, no, MPP a majority, no. Anye business, anti-nasi anye business. And may Chumwa Jones you for the third time respectfully say, yeah, what is wrong? The Mranachre, yes, and she say, yeah, they are two. The NDC minority, no, I could not be a majority.
I said, maybe I'm caught in and Tina Musuman Con. Ben, yes, share, Brad Supreme Court Speaker, a cancer assembly. And the Supreme Court by you know, actually, but share the phone. The kind of comments are any utterances I call so. Obi no ni mumra, obi a sabi uncle class 4 da, obi onu baby a said on besi ahoro penibia ebia wasi gina ebi. I remember Supreme Court case 2012 Judge Atuguba ye kama no do baby so nkoto no funda conference o ye kama say abomo horo na Charlotte say sa regiment as antino se pani bi sigina ya anaso ka bibia the way a be hwa de for ya ye wachire party for full soldiers for okon be for say ba huru nipa na di na tema kasa no wogide say e boy democracy na na
Jacob Dabi and I think we know a cause because of say yenyina yenim law no right and that be ameka ambassador Fachame I think our law no say the practicing are very subjective because law back no utie NDC nia and I say utie obi or sympathizing with NDC a say no be kana no utie MPP no so I say law back now say no so I feel there's no that objectivity and no normal omo de sa subjective nature no asake omo sympathizers nti say law no enko ni favor na waka na asake sympathizers na omo de sa bomb ya okan omo tutututu gum so yes rem lawyers no whether MPP and these lawyers me say munya objective kakra we objective kakra maybe your sympathy e was say dru bribi a yebeti say in this lawyer bi Supreme Court judge bi aka bi na in this lawyer aka say mene ne yadwen and as be a speaker of parliament e be kan bi na MPP lawyer aka say mene ne yadwen I think and I like and the appeal could be
yeah
that man is an objective man me follow him for some time now or a very objective
yeah need to come about this very issue no kind say Chama Makukui right honorable Makukui speaker of parliament this issue was wrong then and he is wrong now
right he's an objective man maintain various platforms I think that most of the MPP and NDC parliamentarians and also politicians must learn a lot from him na me dey no I think that Afenyo honorable Afenyo Marcus or the titles no Ejuma na was so seriously so utie nkoma oni mo sister station edi ya na or stressy me majority would say title majority leader no eno na ope saying say obey the activity of the so-called majority leader wouldn't the na NDC for no perception be say Haruna is compromised NDC most of them had that perception say Haruna is compromised because Chairman strategically advancing Haruna in terms of some of these negotiations. Obewa kotoa no. Ama mo form kukuwa mu asem. Abeka omo kan wiea ansa na mo ba nti when they come to parliament they play it out. Nti NDC ni tinchen a ade na abribia no Chairman sa we ni over us because Chairman sa ekasa he was very consultative. Because of say Apenyo Edo title, he's not consultative, and I think that his posture no is very, there's a thin line between someone who is assertive and someone who is aggressive. Apenyo has become very aggressive instead of being assertive. Ena adidi ni mua ena odiako diako yi. Denti ameka sa say hey say nyina ye kan kra kire ye honne ye kan kra kire ye honne. Parliament na ye say on nipa 375 no. 275 no. In practical sense, omundru 270 because you say be yare. And omumba parliament. Yenim true. E binum yare omumba parliament. We know they are ill and they are not even coming to parliament. So say obey majority e ka say e kono rigid approach say obey majority based on numbers no. Yeah the numbers crack say ye binum for parliament. You cannot be the majority leader.
You can say kind of
rock caller a minimum to be parliament and that
is the ambulance
ambulance going to be for a minimum because we have the information to be for a minimum. So it's not about being majority or minority because in practical sense you are not even a majority leader because the parliament is a hang parliament. Only that independent is on Ube Ejuma. We 137 and independence or Ube Ejuma and speaker can say independence or Ube Ejuma they all their quaternary right. And no interest we a majority in that sense. And in most cases, niyema common sense ni nyaduma kakra. Na enja law no. Na minia senka yema common sense yaduma minia. Yes, Mati say 3 weeks parliament be call recess because there was so many na campaign. And especially areas are very keenly contested areas no. Say woka say parliament met now up to maybe November ending. Sa parliamentary Roma. Let's be very practical. Key contested areas like Techmai South, right? I very keenly contested last election. Yenim DCA and other constituencies are ever. Okase ni MP free constituency better parliament on maybe 30th November, 29th November. Oh ma. So say enye say yepe titles no more than say yepe say ye adwuma na. What's not left? It doesn't change anything to me. Maybe politically Kofi me nyadwin, but to me no, it doesn't change anything.
It changes everything.
Okay. What's not left now? Obetumi I put you forward or bills. Am I passing in them? Obetumi put you budget for as I meet you minimum da akra be kan budget. The first quarter of 2025. We don't even know the day we are going to ye be kan say bia ye election ni wie na ma be kan dia. We don't know. Right? So what happened many His Excellency Adrian said it was needless, waste of time, waste of resources, waste of everybody's time. And I think that even going to Supreme Court was not the best. We should have used our common sense to resolve the matter without going there. Because here you know, Kofi, no crowd make a say you know,
the decision has been made already.
Let me bamba. Say you know, by law, your parliament where nation they are not up to 275. It was saying you been ready. Because the parliament has its own rules. Say, Your Excellency, okay, Obi, I'm a parliament for number of days.
10 days.
10 days, I will say, you need only question about him. But people are there.
Without reasons,
people are there.
When you are traveling or you are going to a medical area, you have to inform the speaker.
Yeah.
What you are saying. But the 4 people that go with you, they just fan boost.
Yes.
No, so send this for Kokota. And can you say, basically, is
So at any point in that, people must compromise.
Why didn't you go to court about Makokwe? Now, because it was benefiting the people.
No, sometimes we don't say Speaker Crown decided say only the independent candidate Crown and Cordis in this war. You would have been a hang parliament. Yes. And in in practical terms, this parliament is not up to 275 because others are ill. And for more than 6 months, it's been more than even a year. It's been parliament.
Senior, so who caused them?
Who caused them? That compromise nature.
Because who made that decision?
No, Parliament. Is that compromise?
The Speaker of Parliament, having received that information, said they all can consultatively, and now consultation, common sense, now here outside. One friend say conclave will say friend. Yeah, now you found bad me say be German magana for antia. Now can hear them.
That's why no inside though. I think I heard
so what happened?
The deputy chief whip of MPP side no.
I'm not done.
No, deputy no. Ofri Mion. I heard him. No case mko conclave no. These were some of the things I'm raising some by na NDC for the two. And a speaker can say enyo na determine baby NDC for better. Nti eno ye clerk. I think
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's talking about before. I'm talking about his so-called ruling.
Ruling, no.
Was it necessary?
No, so-called ruling, no.
Necessary?
So-called ruling, no, may be based on precedents.
And was it necessary?
But he wasn't wrong. If it's based on precedent, he wasn't wrong.
That precedent that he didn't support.
Not
president
all support listen to
president now on support no e adwuma na sa nya adwuma
whether it was a bad president. It was a bad president. It was a bad president. It was a bad president.
Say bad.
It doesn't. No, to declare something legal or not legal, no. By your emotions. Say Supreme Court to create a decision. That's a one in law. We say there's no bad law. There's no bad judgment.
Yeah.
When you feel you don't agree with the judgment, you don't say it's bad. You go to a superior court, which say High Court or Court of Appeal, to vacate that law.
Yeah.
Until that law is vacated, it's a good law.
Okay.
What you say?
Thank you for the education. The point is that there was a president.
Question say, I'm so on the 7th. All right. That's what I'm calling this. To help him on the 7th. That's the NDC forces say, yeah, my parliament. What is going to happen?
Anyway, let's wait and see.
I think that on the 7th, Your Excellency, me that's okay say that compromise stance no also be a relax extreme position. No money because at the end of the day no Ghana no money no more say. And lastly, yes Rob. Me say me MP ametumano. Me nye sa party nini. Ba ametumano because me susu say only bit me akoshe mrapa ba amaye. Say me ye politics for no dey party no cover members of parliament no. Ye nhwe bi emfa because some of us voted for our MPs not because they are MPP on the NDC.
I thought you could do something.
They could do something for us. This is all now NDC bid.
Fantastic. That's what the Supreme Court is saying.
Oh.
Yes, in essence, because our person
say I'm not a lawyer. I didn't even follow the Supreme Court, and I don't want to follow them.
My man what for advice. Listen, you see,
with 1 minute space,
you know that I'm not a hawk.
Yeah,
I'm not reconciliating our party, and so we are. Some of us, the elderly in the party, we are still talking to our MPs, but the posture of the NPP. As you are sitting here, the speaker is wrong. The speaker, listen to me. Kofi, my main kind of assumption now. You see, the speaker also have people who listen to this radio television stations. What you are saying? You are in the wisest parable in the Bible. King Solomon's parable. The woman, mana womunche nkwarano. Was it emeba? Was it emeba? Now, the end a banner in the end was more. You understand? You are in government seeking to pass your bills. Ubaja said in Zeke, Ubaja Kwayam passing.
Say budget you pass it. I can't hear the back for
next year. Yes, but next year the government must run.
The first quarter.
Yes.
First quarter must run. That budget is still there. Now, so who adopted attitude said, this is wrong, that is wrong, I am right, I'm going to Supreme Court. Now, say, who corner search now, that my position say,
but Ambassador, you blame Afenyo. So, blaming
I am blaming Afenyo not because it's Afenyo, because it's the majority leader.
But I can't blame the speaker because the speaker.
Because your basis for blaming the speaker is wrong.
And your basis for blaming Afenyo is also wrong.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, sure. The negotiation skills.
Parliamentary.
Now, so
the basis of the speaker is wrong. Every parliament. What is
that? What is it? Frankly speaking, you can't negotiation skills. You can't obi. To me, a maneuver, a real mama, and to me, I anyway, 50 questions against 5 questions a day. Yes, economy.
Oh, time.
Economy. Time so here.
Okay.
You'll be 30 minutes.
Okay.
On the number one.
Yeah, sure. I want a number one, but yeah, sure. My penna say Dr. Baumia, the economic messiah, the economic whiskey, said we describe no. Say my penny or no, my penny and now just say Dr. Baumia didn't buy purposely for one thing. I did back up into a didn't buy and say, Obama economy negina. It sounds said the kind why ye Juma or World Bank da. And now why ye deputy governor Bank of Ghana. It's a how to run economy. Dr. Baumia is the best for Ghana and nothing ordinary ever. Now baby economy no away. Best no etumi aye Juma no. Ama ye nya so mfa so. Na share said ye mampena da mahama can say economy no can want some dollar near saying I think 17 cities almost 17 cities pounds here 21 cities any na infantum say the economy any said no economic or ye lectures in as for ne enye na fan ku see 170 questions or maybe sata and no ne as for no this scientist okay economy want some said mampena da mahama can dig it am some kwa no na so 50 questions about 6 minutes.
Once you share some manchi ahwe for na eti for
and better lead than ever.
Macho, any di money on Brazil mo. En bisa yaman peni da bisa yaman peni abedi chi Dr. Mahmoud Baumia also two fan kama MPP amanyoko me channel ne. En semponum. na anu yie ni eti say the edikan your man penny dada John Dramani Mahama Ghana for akasa per the report of a year CDD Afro Barometer and a National Commission on Civic Education eso na no a year report na omo report no omo ma yeti ase say e die na Ghana for ehwe animu say ye koto aba o mbegina so e de ato aba and in their reports summary patch of me main kind of was it top 5 key issues that concern steady respondent as far as elections in 2024 are concerned. Was it government must prioritize by political parties prior to the 2024 elections and beyond, where any of also are prioritizing where 1 education, 2 employment, 3 health, 4 roads, and 5 infrastructure. That's National Commission on Civic Education. Oba eye Afro Barometer CDD almost so dia nanu ya almost debe 2 ya. The top 3 eye things are Ghana for most important problems are Ghana for facing. Number 1 unemployment 41%, infrastructure or roads 38%, health 33%, education and so the management of the economy and the last one. So number 1 first of all, your man Penny Dada was wrong when he talks about the fact that these elections were about economy. Now, Mestre no say, any DMO elections, any did the attempt, any kasa entry, any kasa a bomb mine. Sebi, ne kasa nansi okano, any DMO anya on Brazil. And I believe strongly that if we say why are frustrated because Ghanaians are not finding favor with his policies. Why are frustrated? That's why he has resorted in ABI insults. Any the kika hon, Erica's is stupid. Any the kika hon because Ghana for once again will reject him for the 3rd time. Now let's go into the issues. I say the elections will be about the economy. Stupid. It's true.
Okotu will be an answer can say.
Okotu no one can say a double down can say. I'm also saying that the economy, the election will be about the economy. Stupid. He first quoted what happened in the US during George Bush Sr. and Bill Clinton. And then he said, so he said it. And then number 1. Number 2. Yes, it's true. This economy is battered. And you accepted, you admitted, as far back in 2022, even in our budget statement, paragraph 20, the President of the Republic, through the Finance Minister, admitted the economy and that Ghanaians are suffering. And they are keeping awake at night. On the 7th of April 2022, Ewo Gomoaho Baby, Cape Coast, the Vice President, admitted without cause that Ghana for whom the last time I was on this particular show on this program, Ewo Haniye discussing the budget, mid-year budget review, and made a passionate appeal to the good people of this country. Say the domestic debt exchange program the buy-in, no more ya. And for that matter, we apologize.
You apologize on your behalf
on
my of the party, behalf. On your personal behalf.
And then on behalf of the country, through the finance minister, days later, he also apologized to the good people of this country.
The current finance minister.
Oh, yes.
Everybody you take that decision. So that decision you take here now. Pensioners echo Piketty of finance ministry. The then finance minister chair woman some kind of say
he doesn't
they'll take a decision. I'm pensioners copy Piketty as Ocean as I don't know why you are here.
Now be on your finance minister.
He said it. It was his time. And see, ono no kasesade anka and who no bi wo han pampa. Say mampeni but we say budget no. Mampeni e ka kire kan mas friend is saying finance minister e ko kan parliament we say budget no paragraph page 22
20
ɛma ɔka sɛ
2022 budget state.
na nneɛma no emu ɔden sika sɛm ayɛ den na finance minister gyina mampanin anan mu ɛna ɔka saa ɛna finance minister korɔ no a under his leadership ɛhwɛ ma saa DDP no kɔɔ so ɛna pensioners ka sɛ woka sɛ ɔmfa yɛn nsa nka yɛ deɛ no na yɛde na ɔde nsa ka yɛ deɛ no nti yɛaba piketi ɛna that same finance minister no so ka kyɛ pensioners ne sɛ I don't know why you are here. Nti sahono bi wɔ hɔ ampaniampa a ade no hyɛ ɔsabra ne wanka na akyire ansa na ebia wobɛka ɔde wɔ ha na fe the current finance minister so ka ne die.
Ebio de minim ni sɛ ɔnyɛ finance minister bio. The new finance minister I know ye photo sam for hwe sika sem so agya to mu sɛ DDP no ɛyɛ ade a na emu ɔya for that matter or apologize to Ghanaians. That is what is relevant. That is what is current. That's what we are going for. And he speaks on behalf of the government. He speaks on behalf of the president. Into no can Now let's look at the 5 questions. Eye man penny Dada John Dramani Mahama. Obisai. No Obisa say adding tina the CD to the dollar. I could do baby a edro. As some of the two jano. We are talking about the CD about 17 CDs to $1. The man penny that Abedi Chile, I can now be said when the fundamentals of the economy are weaker, the exchange rate will expose you. Not too long ago, about a month or 2 ago. Or said the prevailing factors now, the exchange rate are weak under John Dramani Mahama. It's true for now. I didn't think I say your fundamentals no are weak. Because as a world, Ghana being part of it, we went through a very excruciating financial and economic situation caused by a global pandemic, a year COVID, which caused a recession since the Great Depression, almost 100 years ago. It affected all nations, including Ghana. At the height of the COVID, in 2020, March 27th, when even our GDP was 2.5, the President of the Republic, making that famous statement, say, we know how to bring back the economy to life.
What's the date? March
27th, 2020,
okay.
As part of his nation's address and measures taken to mitigate COVID. I say, you inquire about the economy back to life. Name on you inquire about the year your friend is a nipa who I bet me in a free. Now he appreciates, say, the normal economy. One share economy will be hit and it will be dire. And indeed, it did happen. Because the president made that pronouncement and that prophecy. Because now she said the factors now they saw no air economy. So it affected the fundamentals of the economy and it affected the exchange rate. Even at the time now we were in COVID, even post-COVID, the CD was doing well. Even when there was a Cold War, or there's still a Cold War, which is being fought between Russia and Ukraine, now the CD was doing well. And I can happily announce to you at that time, sir, Yebefa CD from 4.2 to $1. No? Even 2022, it was about 5.5 or 5.2 to $1. So relatively, we had only added about 1 Ghana cedis in about 5 or 6 years. The amount you kwa here more ama your dollar no any you see the no back from no was because we have been shut out from the financial international market.
Why?
Because of the fundamentals of the economy no are weak as a result of a global pandemic.
Global pandemic economy na weak ama ya shut and as ya bobu se na mana broso ye ntumi ntumi.
And no number 1, number 2.
What is number 1? I didn't hear number 1.
Number 1 was the global. I'm talking about. No, only number 1. And the economy, the fundamentals need weak. That's number 1. Number 2, contribution as to why the fundamentals were weak. Number 2, at the time when not COVID, not Ghana, you throw almost 1 billion, and he's an energy expert. I've read about him before I was coming here. He can attest to what I'm saying, whether it's true or not. You're afraid to be take or pay. Excess capacity charges. This country we were paying almost $1 billion. Almost $1 billion every single year for excess capacity charges. Money we could have used for something else. We had to cough up that money every year to make sure that at the end of the day, you make me holding ejinasu. And we are number one. Number two, we inherited the financial crisis and now almost collapsed. So we needed to rescue that financial crisis.
From which administration?
From the NDC. And that cost us a lot of money.
In 2019, IMF, NDC time, IMF, no, now can say 2015, ended 2018, and I'm extended 2019, right?
Yes.
Until all of 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, now IMF. And now, yes, IMF programmers. 2020 March 27th until January, February, March, within 3 months. And they say Kasabu to me call from Boom Precopesa. What brand is Kasabu Jan and Nasu Pinti?
Number one, program Nani Shase. NDC couldn't fulfill the requirement of the program.
Which requirement was that?
Requirement, especially one, that the Bank of Ghana should not finance our budget.
And did the Bank of Ghana finance our budget?
They did.
2016?
No. Oh, they did. They did.
Kofi, no.
I'm saying they did.
How much? How much was added to finance the
2016? You said the Bank of Ghana financed the government budget.
And how much was added? Finance, saying a Bank of Ghana, they finance a budget.
They added between 5 or 10%, between 5 to 10%. I've had this discussion many times.
So let
me make progress. You have me about it.
I don't know.
I've given you the figure. Two or contrary figures, and you provide it to me so that I can make progress.
10%.
I'm telling you that Bank of Ghana finance our budget contrary to the requirement of the IMF. And a lot of the programs and our requirements also for failure. The NDC couldn't. For that matter, you hesitate in 2019.
Now the time now so but many producers kasa so mama time ni bi aka ho a na yatumi dey exhaust say issue we. Say so woman to me I meet IMF conditionalities be any programs nyema ho bi a wo ka ba ko say Bank of Ghana IMF ka say Bank of Ghana and financing 2016 budget no. But per what I know and he say sabre no Bank of Ghana and financing yen and senior budget deficit and in a manema who do the government was able to do it in such a way say one more ma scania near mana moroso na we decide the ya and concura the next year and I work I said nema who do be wo there are other things government the then government and to me and for failure. Which are those nema want to be for failure
on the floor of Parliament, which is a House of Records. Honorable Afinyo Markets has made a categorical statement which has not been refuted. Said the NDC couldn't fulfill the requirements of the IMF conditionalities when they went for the external credit facility in 2015.
The question is,
it has not been refuted.
The question is, what were the requirements which were not fulfilled?
Intimating, I should give you that requirement. I've given you one. At least I've given you one.
Okay, wait.
I've given you one, have I? So again, and you talk about the fact that so between a few months, March 27th, 2020, the economy no. Yes, I am too simplistic. I made a factual statement regarding a figure. At that time, we were doing an average of GDP 7%. Between time now, COVID no started say about 3 months. In that 3 months, do you know the intervention this government had taken? We have shut down our airports. It being caught, it being back, and not just our airports, land ports, seaports. Not only that, the other financial, economic countries around us were also suffering. And you and I know that we have an intertrade agreement with other countries. So what affects them affects us as well. So it's not just about factors and I say and say at that time I may seek some equity. The others also have done and also impacted on our economy. The bottom line is that the 5 questions that were raised by the former presidents, they were questions that have been answered many times by the Vice President, Ahaji, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. But what is critical is the fact that even the economic issues now, even in the midst of all our challenges, which I agree, financially we are going through a lot of challenges. Economically, and even in the midst of all our challenges, we are doing better than what he left for us and what he did. even in the midst of all our challenges. This is a man who inherited a 14% growth domestic product. Out of the back 3.75%. At no given time was John Dramani Mahama ultimately GDP no cost so for the 4 years that he was a president. At the time when President Mills experiencing 36 months of single-digit inflation, John Dramani Mahama at no point was he able to return us to a single-digit inflation. But His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was able to do that. Now to end. I can say, Omanpeni John Dramani Mahama. ODD Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I can say the economy nation. But what is factual is what the Vice President has said. The formalization of the economy and the action is
more time, but the producer saying to me, Excellency, wait a minute, Pacho. What can someone but we said that we have brought this topic earlier. Like to be discussing here, but don't worry, next week we will also discuss it because it's very, very important. I would like him to come next week so that
I will be here, please.
President Mahama left us with the stabilization fund.
Yeah.
He left us with 2 oil fields, and he also left us with the Atwambu gas plant. Now, you are in the oil industry. You know, sir, energy sector. You know, sir, even this government has signed an agreement for take or pay.
Oh yeah. Agreements were signed in 2019.
True or false?
True. Yeah.
Okay. So this argument of which cousin, that one doesn't make any economic points, because the so-called
I mentioned excess capacity.
So-called excess capacity charges. Excess capacity. Say your excess capacity, isn't it? And they say your minus capacity.
You need minus capacity.
Your excess still.
Excess still. But if we have energy security, what is the why do we have energy security? Why do we have it? Because of the investment we made.
Yeah.
Now, that the excess capacity or whatever include the Ameri plant, which you have taken back to Kumasi. Now listen. Anybody who makes argument about COVID now should be arrested. As the cause of our problem, should be arrested. Listen, we had about 22 billion cedis. What the accounts have said, they said we only use 11 billion, if even that one, for COVID. A Ministry of Communication said they were buying workstations, $31 million. Ama civil servants, Ayejuma were outside because of the COVID. No, so where are the workstations? The reports are that we paid that money to the contractor. The same contractor now, Obetina Airport. No, what did COVID a friends and leave you know. A friend saying, oh, company nana Ubechom Airport or use the same company no say what set it, sir, we use COVID money to pay salaries. We use COVID money to support the budget. And to be doing because of COVID in any problem back, a financial problem back Ghana. Those who lost their life, may God keep their souls. At the time now you want COVID GRA can say they have exceeded their targets. Into whether there was COVID money or not, no, we had made provision for paying salaries. And I mean,
because that time na airport na for the on cast form we
da airport na for back da. So if you create a problem, say what shall to Kumasi tema ka home kaswa now to the animal microphone and 1 minute to 2 microphone. How much do you spend on that? $51 million. So never use that argument. Say COVID is a problem there. Ukraine for any Russia for. You say Russia and Russia in Ghana. Am I warning say we shouldn't use that because it had no effect on us. It had no effect on us. Shipping lines no. Oh my aircraft no more from Ukraine. Ebi anko Nigeria. Ebi anko Ivory Coast. What do you people take us for? What do you take us for? still using COVID. Say COVID no problem no.
I think say next
this program said
next week we am promising you viewers me say mo na bo say mommy esa no wo baba kofi baba baby abeko bi assign na bra. Excellency,
have they shut us from money market because of COVID?
I don't know. Excess borrowing no. When kofi pacho next week we discuss because when you better go deep into the banking sector cleanup no.
Yes,
because sir ruling na court today by about CDH no. You bet you know so near that to the Dr. Parko CDH.
No, CBG, no bank no.
CDH.
Okay.
Ruling there ba so omo journalists if you omo na court ruling no judge na some kan ye about woman no. You bet kan. There that to Dr. Parko syndrome there no. Any heritage there no any o market you know be say was it necessary for us to
that is better
you be doing come next week topically no you be can something ben you hwe 2 minutes penny sorry say baby ade adro any said anema akono economy no briefly energy
briefly
yeah bibi ayanko ni ye na say ko ni ye
no but I think that maybe politicians and I say be money by Buapayo because normally from my background is purely development orientation. Me okay economy I mean share that no nyadrisa because I want to see how the economy is impacting on households and firms. Like say the impact ankra move any in and I think that your economy is not even ours. The because say we a politician also a president we have to own the economy. Until also say the industry sector and area the agriculture basically you say area. I mean the service sector isn't ours. The industry and service and area. And let me say Kofi can say one nation one factory. But unfortunately, if you look at the data carefully, I think 2022, 2023, industry has been doing negative. Maybe this year in the industry, as started picking 2024, they have seen that it is the highest contributor for GDP. But 2023, 2022, in industry, no, very very negative. I was saying. One dish one factory now also can yes maybe you have my tax exemptions but its impact on the economy is zero or even minus until was say ohwe no ye but me dey here make say am pese politicians election ye beka ho asem ne say what see why economy ni ye wanye ni ye but 87% of Ghanaians are saying that they prefer other forms of government than the EWMCC or they don't trust the political system or the democracy.
They say they want other.
Oh no, but if they don't trust, it means that if they get alternative, they will like to go.
If they were asked the question, say, "Come up here," you would have seen the result.
Yeah, okay. So, but they didn't.
In the absence of that, don't say.
But Afrobarometer report generally in West Africa and Africa, countries like Mali, Niger, almost feel that governance they done. The other governance they were into. So bisa question now. Be Afrobarometer bisa bank bisa. A lot of Ghanaians would have even said some prefer that one to what we are. It means that okay. It means that economy now can and these are things I think politicians have to look at. What is happening to poverty in Ghana? Is our economy addressing issues of poverty? Because there are 45% of Ghanaians are poor. So multi-dimensional crime is more than 45, almost 46 or so. And they are poor because of nutrition. They are poor because of health and education lag. What is your improvement budget now running from 1993? No? What has been its impact on poverty? It was one. Two. Okay. Two, in terms of good health and well-being, what has been your economy and the impact on good health and well-being? What has been your economy impact on inequality? Which is a major concern in Ghana because our economy now who no big sano, contributors of the economy are maybe nipa 10 and nipa 20.
Okay. Where Benem Yapa Ashafo me na can say topic here the ban term na to be discussed but me share boss next week. Your Excellency in Pacho you share kwan say next week by 8 o'clock 8:30 near starting. So that we will have ample time near discuss as because after barometer and some can you know. I see do most ko near share all the indicators no mo kan wasam no but there's one issue be say the exchange rate no yes governor Bank of Ghana can be na whether it is true or not I'm here to verify na measure can say measure more about next week in the December ba mama so we have about $7 billion in foreign exchange reserves and if I want to drive the dollar CD rate to 10 cedis today I can't do that tomorrow but what about the day after tomorrow nti sɛ no kora sɛ obetuma hu bibi ampaniampa ne ahwe nti no yɛbɛdi hu kɔmɔ next week pa na yɛbɛhwɛ bibi nso afo barometer ɔmo kan yɛ about free senior high no ɔmo say 85% of Ghanaians want the continuance of free senior high by the next government, with 79% asking to discontinuation of the e-levy. E-levy when they buy once they year free ho and you say back once near Shabaku be say 80% of Ghanaians believe government has badly handled the economy, with 81% saying it has performed badly on job creation. And today na nneema bi a yebedi hu komo nyakopon adoma next week tafo bere meta ho nsɛm no yebɛgye bere na yaka ho asɛm papa nti yɛde bɛsia ne de asedam aboafo boy mata de ɛhyɛ mi ɛyɛ sɛ wo pa dia na ɛyɛ perfect man for da roma St Phillips wo mo ɛna ɛtɔn perfect man for na pam ɛna St Phillips for ɛtɔ ɛno nti opebi abenya design shape ne type bia on sabitumi college bia sabitumi akabi na ɔmo number 0244 147212 0244 147212 na make house so beto gas nso na de na waduane pa dia mesɛ wa akɔ bebi ɛtɔ gas wɔ man mu no wokɔ 10 cities kɔ bebu ama 20 cities bebu ama pɛpɛpɛ na wo so otumi de akɔ no aduane na aboa nso ama nneɛma tumi akɔyi de ama mo bani sia medase Kofi medase Kofi amia medase His Excellency medase sɛ wonya abrebe wa hwɛ me so meda wase sɛ wo nso wo hwɛ ye na me sɔre so yi asɛm ketua bi na mɛka ansa na masɔre so ɛne sɛ wonim biribi sɛ adeɛ no ɛnyɛ na so betumi ahu biribi a yɛ ne nnɛ ansa na agyensɛmu ayɛ bebuo yakra mo.
High school education.